We read The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I really liked the book. To me, it was a pretty easy read. And even though there's tons of Spanish, I felt like you could really just understand it by out of context. And if I couldn't understand anything, I could ask my family members if they're all pretty fluent in Spanish. Or I just looked it up on Google Translate sucks. I looked up on dictionary.com. So I would recommend it, and it's funny because my sister recommended it to me because she read it in college for Latino studies. And one part of the book on page 74, I think about Lola, one of the characters in the book. She goes to the Dominican Republic, and the girls there call her gringa, which basically means white person or foreigner. And so Lola kind of felt really bad because she is Dominican, so why don't they see her as Dominican? And that reminded me of a quote from the movie Selena, where Selena's dad says that we have to be more Mexican than the Mexicans and more American than the Americans at the same time, and it's exhausting.
I enjoyed it in the beginning, and then the transitions throughout paragraphs were really hard and confusing, and then you wouldn't know who was speaking until further on in the chapter. So it kind of got it lost my attention, so I didn't really enjoy it. And then it was really it showed a lot of bad luck for one family, and it showed this whole fugu and all that other stuff, and I don't know, it just kind of was unrealistic with all the bad luck. I just don't see someone having so much bad luck. So I mean, I still enjoyed it. It was still they had funny parts that are just unreal, but I don't know if I would recommend this book to anyone.
Okay, so the book was okay. It wasn't the best book I've ever read, but it was pretty easy to read and understand, minus the Spanish sentences. Those are kind of confusing. I wasn't going to sit there and Google translating the sentences, but it was a pretty good book, but I don't know, it was a little depressing. So the book kind of relates back to 1984. There's this secret police that patrols around the Dominican Republic, kind of monitoring what the citizens are saying and writing and making sure no one's going against the dictator. And there's also these torturing scenes in the book about, they're trying to make sure that the guy doesn't go back against the government and make sure that he isn't rebellious, and it just relates back to 1984. So if you like 1984, I think you would probably like this book too. So I definitely would recommend it to anyone who kind of wants this kind of action-packed, depressing though book. So.
Overall, I really enjoyed reading this book. I thought that it was a pretty easy read, except for they said before, the Spanish parts. I kind of connected it to a series of unfortunate events because Oscar in the book goes through all this bad luck, and that kind of connects with that book series. So if anybody enjoys reading that book series, I would definitely recommend this book to them. I didn't really like how it was a pity story in the depression parts, but overall it had a good message, and I would definitely recommend this book.
So this book was quite interesting. It was kind of all over the place with some of the stories and some of the, we weren't sure who was narrating the story at some points, so it was kind of confusing in that sense. But I think I would recommend it to someone who's somewhat fluent, not fluent in Spanish, but who speaks Spanish. There's a lot of Spanish words, but that was a huge deal. And yeah, so I'd recommend it to pretty much anyone our age. It was a pretty good book. I liked some of the real aspects of the lives of the people in the book.
So I like this book. There were some parts that were kind of boring, and it was a little bit hard to understand when the perspective kept changing from each chapter. You didn't really know who was narrating at some parts. But it was pretty good, and the Spanish, I thought that kind of added to the whole culture, so you got to get a sense for what Dominican culture really is.